Hello everyone, Cursed to Craft here, bringing you something that I just wanted to do in my spare time. This is, yes, a Minecraft survival sort of deal, but really what it's going to be is a discussion about Magic the Gathering, the card game. And if you guys know what it is, it's a card game, and I want to be explaining it so people that are new to playing Magic will actually be able to play Magic, so they can already have an idea of what they want to do and what they want to play. For starters, Magic is split up into 5 colors. You have red, blue, green, white, and black, and each of them represent a different personality trait of humans, I suppose you could say. And I'll go in an in-depth video of each of the colors, but for this little tidbit, I'm going to go ahead and gotta go ahead and start talking about the general aspect of Magic. So you are a Planeswalker. Planeswalkers are, I guess you could sort of, like, compare them to Magic Mancers, sort of. They, cast spells, and you are a Planeswalker. There are Planeswalkers that head each of the guilds. There are 10 guilds and 5 colors. And there are a bunch of sets, like Magic's like 20-something years old. It's an old game. So there's a bunch of cards that you can collect, and it's split up into Standard, Modern. Standard is what's available to go to a tournament and play at any of your local retail stores, or any of your, like, little thrift shops, however you want to say that. But, there have been a lot of Planeswalkers, but I'm going with the most modern one. Probably, yeah, the standard ones right now, and there's different sets. Every once in a while they'll come out with the new sets. We're currently in Theros, but we're going to be getting some new ones. I'll talk about that later. So, a deck's comprised of 60 cards. Well, I guess I should talk about... Okay, land is mana. Mana is energy. Mana is what you need to cost things. For instance, if I wanted to cast, let's say, a red goblin, he was a 2-drop. 2-drop means he costs 2 mana. Let's say he costs 1 red mana. Red is mountain. Blue is island. Green is forest. White is plains. And black is swamps. Let's say he costed 1 mountain. That's 1 red mana. And 1 of any color. That means you could use any color you wanted to. So we'll tap 2 of our mountains to summon this goblin, and he will be summoned. He'll have 2 numbers at the bottom right of his card. The left one will be his attacking power, and the right one will be his defense. If he is a 2/1, then he can dish out 2 damage and take 1 damage. And once he goes to 0, he dies. Now, then, however, creatures cannot attack when they are first summoned. Let's say you tap 2 mana. They have this thing called summoning sickness, which means you must wait 1 turn in order to use their abilities, to tap them for abilities, to attack with them, unless they have a special ability called haste, which allows them to just attack as soon as they're summoned. There are bunches of abilities. So, that's how you get cards. Now, let's see. You have creature spells. Creature spells are like the goblin that I just said. Mountains and land or mana, it's what you need to use. And then you have, like, instant spells, sorcery spells, and enchantment spells, as well as artifacts. All of these can be in a group of their own. Now, a basic format for a basic, like, syntax, I guess you could say, to begin your deck would be 20 land, 20 creatures, and 20 of other spells, instant sorceries, artifacts, and enchantments, and all that. That's your basic deck. Now, that's the basic of Magic. You want to shuffle your deck, and then you want to draw 7 cards and just start playing. The first thing you'll do is put a land down. Once you put your land down, you may cast a creature spell, and then you may cast an instant sorcery. Now, sorceries may only be casted during your turn, but instances can be played at any time whatsoever. They can be played on your turn, other people's turn, anytime you may choose. Alright. Now then. Ooh, we have a village right over here. That's awesome. Okay. But anyways, like dark oak wood. Whoa. That looks sexy. Let me think of what I was going to say. I lost my train of thought. Yes, each of the colors represents their own sort of, personality trait. So if you look at my videos and you're like, oh, I must be a red person, then you're probably going to want to play red, because if you stick to your personality type, chances are you're going to play well with it. Alright. Let's see. At the beginning of your next turn, your mana is tapped. Then you untap it, and you're allowed to use it again. So mana is only untaps during your next upkeep, which your upkeep is the next turn where you draw, unless otherwise stated. And, you take turns, you have 20 life points. Now you can attack people directly, or they can have stuff to defend with. Everybody has 20 life points, so if I hit someone with a 5/4, then they would take 5 and have 15 left. If they didn't have anything to defend with, you may defend with creatures, if you so choose. If you defend with creatures, you don't have to, they're your line of defense because you're the planeswalker. Let's get this wheat. But yes, and then I should talk about, what types of different things there are, but I'll get into that in the next video. But, is there anything else that I can do? And you can have 2 people, a 1v1, or a 3-person, or a 4-person game. And that just depends on, if you have friends you want to play with. But I would stick your deck around 60 cards. Try to keep it 20-20-20 if you're a beginner, because that just, it will be so much easier if you do that. And I think that's pretty much all for the basics of Magic the Gathering. Unless, let's see, artifacts can also be, creatures, they can be equipment, they can be pretty much anything. And if they're equipment, you're probably gonna have to, oh, I'm so glad they didn't break. Okay, we have enough. And that's about it for the first part, guys. I will start, and the next video will be talking about red.